Hi everybody, I'd just like to make a little short video on how to achieve a mark over 90 in your VCE Enter score, or ATAR score, which is now called. Okay, so I've got a few tips for you because I've been there and I've done that back in 2004. I got over 95. And basically, although that's a very high mark, I wasn't perfect in any sense. Basically, I was making mistakes all the time, and I want to go through and share with you today exactly what the mistakes were. Okay, so the very first mistake was that I was overwhelmed with the amount of work that I had to do. I felt helpless, and I always thought that, doing more work is equivalent to getting better marks. And it's just now that I figured out that basically more work does not equate to more of anything. It doesn't, no matter what you do. If it's school that you're doing, or maybe you're trying to open a business, or whatever it is, more work does not necessarily mean better results. It's not the work that's the thing that you have to always do. I mean, you have to do some work in order to get anywhere, but you don't have to become a workaholic. Those are two separate entities. Okay, so the way that I practice now, in order to eliminate some of the work that I do, and in order to maximize the final result, I do some visualization techniques. So just before falling asleep, I always visualize myself in that particular situation that I want to be in. So for example, if I want my business to grow, I visualize myself that my business is expanding every day and that it's getting better and better. So you can take that analogy to your own schoolwork, and basically what you're able to do is you can visualize yourself achieving marks better and better every time, and you can visualize the sense of receiving a top mark from a teacher and what kind of feeling that you get once you receive that mark. And the more powerful, the more times you do this, the more power that has, and then it grows into something real. Okay, so I recommend visualization. The second thing that I recommend for VCE students to do is to have enough sleep. Okay, you're still developing, even though you think you're also, you're so grown up and you're like 18 and you're legal age to drink and things like that, or maybe not. It still doesn't mean that your body is ready for no sleep. Okay, you still have to sleep to perform. You don't think that coffee is going to be an excellent substitute, because I mean, once you can cram in one night, but then it's going to wreck the rest of your day, and it's going to wreck the rest of your week even, because you get so tired and you can't be bothered doing anything after that. So I do recommend that you have enough sleep. Okay, and don't think that coffee is a substitute for sleep, because it isn't. So that's number 2. Number 3 is basically make sure that you have some fun this year. Don't treat it so seriously. Don't treat it as a VCE is like a prison and that you don't have any sort of fun throughout the year, because you can still make fun. I mean, you can still go out, with friends. You can still go out and have some fun without being trapped at home. So I recommend that you really make sure that you have enough free time and enough, fun during your weeks. It makes journey easier. It makes the VCE easier, and it's more of a nicer experience when you know that you're not in a dungeon. Okay. So the next thing I'd like to discuss is make sure that your studying is effective. Okay, when you're studying, when you've absolutely made that commitment to study, make sure it's effective. Don't sit there on Facebook looking at people's statuses and things like that, because that isn't effective study. You may think that you're studying, but really what you're doing is you're just diverting your energies and scattering them. So I recommend that you, when you're studying, get rid of all the distractions, turn off your mobile phone, turn off the radio, turn off all of those things. If you want some background music, sure, put some on. But the radio is so distracting. It's got ads going on all the time. Just put on a CD, and that way you're not going to be distracted as much. Okay, don't have the television on or the computer on, because all of those things are keys to just distraction. Okay, so I recommend that you switch all of that technology off and that you've absolutely 100% become devoted to your studies. Now, the next thing is how you study. Try and do as many questions as possible, because these are really going to help you in your exam, because your exam is essentially answering questions. So you want to maximize the amount of questions you make, and you want to make sure that you have answered them correctly. So I would suggest going and getting them marked by a teacher, or getting a few suggestions from them on how you could improve the question answering method. Okay? Another thing is diet. Okay, you have to eat proper food. I mean, caffeine and things like that, they're fine, but you can't just live off caffeine. Trust me, I've been there and it's not pretty. You can't do that. Well, you can, but you have massive side effects. Okay, so I recommend that you eat really watery based foods such as fruits, vegetables, and yeah, a lot of water and things like that. I think there are a few foods that are useful for the memory, so I would suggest researching them. I think they're like omega-3 foods with like fish and salmon and all these kind of things, as well as a lot of fruits like blueberries and what else is there? There's, you know, walnuts and all these different foods that are very good for boosting up memory. So have a research of those. And finally, just a few more tips. If you find that you're stressing too much, you need to start managing that stress. For example, it can be very detrimental to your final result. If you're overly stressing, you can be really smart, but you're not going to go out there and be able to achieve the greatest mark in VCE, because something is in your mind that's blocking you away from that when you're too stressed. So try a meditation, try some exercise and things like that to really help you within your VCE. Okay, I hope that helped, and I will be posting up some more YouTube clips, so just stay tuned and yeah, enjoy your day.